Well, my. The post I made about the Big Bang drew a lot of attention from the troll community and had to ban someone for dropping F-bombs and somebody else for just becoming far too much of a pain. And I was advised by other creationists that, oh yeah, this person makes a career out of it. I don't know, those people who hide in their mama's basement behind a keyboard and use some cool picture as their profile picture, which isn't of them. Oh well, we know where they sit in society. Well, at any rate, I thought I'd go ahead and give you something else about the Big Bang. Here's another article from Science News, the same issue, September 29th, and look at what they admit here. This is something that's a dirty little secret, but most evolutionists, even atheist Big Bang astronomy professors, will admit this is true. In the Big Bang, matter and antimatter were produced in equal measure and should have annihilated into nothingness each other. But somehow, matter gained an upper hand, and it's the most fundamental question human beings can ask. Why are we here? Said physics graduate student Robert Seddon. You know, it's more like, how are we here? Because if you work all of the equations backwards for the Big Bang mathematics, you get that there should be an equal amount of matter and antimatter generated by the supposedly highly hypothetical process. And since when matter and antimatter touch, they mutually annihilate one another, there should be no universe. So they introduced a fudge factor that would give us a little bit extra matter in the equations. And of course, that's all the universe. That's everything that you see is that teeny extra from the fudge factor. The fudge factor is related to Albert Einstein's cosmological constant, which he called the greatest blunder of his career. They keep exhuming it every once in a while, though, just to try and get things like dark energy proved in their minds. Now, the problem is, if the fudge factor was real and not just made up and inserted into the equations, then protons should spontaneously decay. Neutrons spontaneously decay with beta radiation. We've seen that happen. But protons should decay, and we've never seen that happen. I asked one doctoral student at University of Tennessee, Knoxville, why haven't we ever seen that happen if it's true, if old Earth and Big Bang and Hugh Ross is right. He was a Rossite in the Reasons to Believe group at the school. Anyway, he said, oh, that's because the half-life of a proton is 10 to the 40th years. Well, where'd they get that number? You have to have at least 2 points to plot a line, a curve, don't you? They made up both of those points. And besides, 10 to the 40th is a trillion, times a trillion, times the age they think the universe is. So this just puts it way out there so no one can say anything about it, all because they imagined and pulled a number out of thin air, 10 to the 40th. I'm sorry. That's not logic. It's not science. It's not good thinking. I'll quote Will Rogers, the humorist from Dust Bowl, Great Depression, Oklahoma, when he said, scientists get bigger and bigger reputations the more they talk about things you can't check on. You keep thinking. God bless. Dr. Jack.